Finally someone my size. Finally someone my size. Someone my size.
About a positive work environment, which he has always taken very seriously. We try to really exercise the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. He treats people as he wants to be treated, and that has always been the case. Looking at the service, George Hall coined the term, the house that's service built, and my father has always very much lived by that. We take pride in our service, and we very much take pride in putting our customers first. Next is our culture, and this is the most important to me. My father is the most honest person I know, and he has so much integrity, and if he shakes your hand and tells you something, he will absolutely stand by that at all costs. So that is a very important value to all of us, and it is certainly something that I carry with me every day. Also family. Family is very important. You all know your families. For George T. Hall, people are important to me. Our family has always been important to my dad, and he has always put that first. Quality, we stand by the work we do. We never walk away, even from a bad experience, and there are many people here, Brandon, Ryan, people in our production department who create our quality, and we're grateful for that. And again, we appreciate you carrying on what George and Chuck started for us. The last one is future. Even though he's complained a little bit about our progress these last few years, Chuck was definitely a leader at George T. Hall, starting their first computer system, and definitely we take his lead as far as growing the company in that regard. Personally, one of my greatest joys has been working with my father these last 30 years. He is the person I respect most in the world, and I'm very, very lucky. You are a tremendous leader, you are a beautiful human, and you are the best daddy that we could ask for. We love you. Thank you. Would you like to say a word? What do you mean?
She's at home and she wishes she could be here. She misses all of you and her friends there. Excuse me a minute. I do want to thank the other people that have come tonight. The person I'm going to notice, longest is my brother Bill, sitting here. I've known him since he was born. And by the way, something you'd be very interested in, when I went in the Army, 6 months active duty, 5.5 years of meetings. The 5.5 years of meetings I worked at George T. Hall. But the 6 months that I was on active duty, Brother Bill took my place. So he's an ex-employee besides. How many years? 8. 8, working while you went to college mostly. Yeah. Okay. Of course, you know my family. Nicole, the oldest, husband Chris, Dina, her husband Dave, who's running the company now, Trevor, and his wife Lisa that couldn't be here. They live in Tulsa and she couldn't come. All the grandkids. I hope the boys don't mind, but I want to mention the grandkids if I don't leave any of them out, so I got to look at the notes. But we've got all of the who we got? we got the Jones are the oldest. We've got Lauren, who's here tonight. We've got Gavin, who's on his honeymoon, by the way. Gavin and Brooke just got married here 2 weeks ago, and they're coming back from the honeymoon tomorrow. Gavin is in the Air Force. Is he first lieutenant now?
Yep.
First lieutenant in the Air Force. And Chad and Ian. And now,
Nathan.
oh,
You're skipping ahead. Nathan.
Yeah, I'm Paul. Sorry, Nathan. Sorry, Nathan. Nathan and Ian. Okay. And now we have Daniel.
Yes.
And then on the Johnson sides, it's much easier. There's only a couple of them. We got Ethan, the only other redhead in the whole family. I was redhead before it went gray and then none. But we got Ethan and Chad. There's where Chad fits in.
And Ryan and Rachel.
And we got, and then, well, I thought we got two step granddaughters, Ryan and Rachel. Ryan just had a baby, the first great grandchild. So courtesy all the Johnsons over here. And that's pretty much the family side of it. Oh, we have Dale. Dale is Chris's dad, and he's here with us tonight, and we're glad to have Dale here. And like I say, and all the Johnsons. I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody because I can't read my writing. You saw Bob and Minette just had to leave. Bob was the one in the wheelchair. I've known Bob for almost 60 years. And we were in the Bearing Bears Car Club together, and we hung out for a lot of years. And that's with the last 20 or 30 with them living in the valley and us living in Orange County. So it's really been a close friendship. We've got Jim and Peggy Brady sitting behind the table here. Jim was Trevor's Little League coach. And in one of his little newsletters that went out, it was Trevor Bueside Neiman. Because when he was in the outfield, instead of watching the ball, he was out stamping bees on the clover. And who am I going to forget? We got Jim and Lynn, Rick Sicker at the table here. Did I say Jim? I met Steve and Lynn. I just have been Steve almost every day. Steve, my car guy. He was the one that came down to the 30th anniversary at this museum with me. So Steve and I do many car things together, have lunch, and thank you, Steve and Lynn, for coming. I should have written bigger. Of course, we've got all the George T. Hall Company people, and so many of them have been with me for so long. Probably the most renowned at the moment would be Bob and Tish. See, I go again. Paul and Tish. But Paul's over 45, going at 50. And Tish must be going on to 40. And they met at George T. Hall Company, and they married at George T. Hall Company. Yeah. We do have one other couple here that only one's working now. Is with Paul's table there is Ray and Hulda. Ray's been with us 3 different times over the years, but he always comes back. And he met Hulda at George T. Hall Company, right? And they've been married ever since. So we're kind of a Cupid company to boot. I should have written this note bigger. Another long-term employee, of course, is Ron Heitzkel and Judy. Ron's in the back table there. How many years? How many years, Ron? 27, but he was our fire ice salesman.
Yeah, so that goes back to 30.
So he's been a supplier and an employee and a friend. I'm sure I'm going to leave somebody out here. We got the whole Reno table here. Reno's been a real lifesaver. The parts business has gone down while the project business has gone up. We had our best month ever in history last month. Is that right, Mike?
Yep.
2.3 million. Over 2.3. So the project business is going great, courtesy of Brick and Mike and Jeff. Thank you, guys. Who else? I try not to forget him. Jackson's here too from Reno's. Not to forget Jackson. I think I've pretty much covered all the people. I did talk about all the Johnsons. I couldn't miss them. There's a whole table full. And probably the senior Johnson has the same name as my wife, spelled different. But Marlon is got a couple of years on me, and you guys have been married 70 plus years.
72.
72 years. Here I thought we were doing good at 58. Plus I knew Marlon for another 4 we dated before we got married, so make sure we did it right. So don't rush into anything. Dating doesn't hurt. I'm sad that some people can't be here. My more distant friends, Bob Cooper and Manette, had to leave with their son Rich. Bob's not in good health. I've got 2 very good people I met through business. Marty and Ruth Schoenberger, our Adams Manufacturing in Cleveland, for some of you salespeople. We sold their Adams parts. We even bought a lot of other vendors' parts through Adams because our stupid vendors give such low prices to the OEMs. but I've known Marty and Ruth for 40 plus years. And then Doug and Carol McAllister, who were in Memphis, Tennessee. Doug was vice president. Well, he was our Penn Johnson salesman for years, and that's how I met Doug and Carol. And then he came to work for us, and he was basically vice president of sales for another 10 years probably. And then he went to the competition, believe it or not. And if you imagine that was an interesting luncheon between Doug and I, after knowing him for 20 years or something, he goes with RSD as a competitor. Fortunately, they're more into the refrigeration and air conditioning and heating side than the industrial side, so we didn't compete with them on the industrial side. But that was an interesting luncheon where Doug told me he was going to a competitor, and he ran RSD for probably another 10, 15 years. He's now retired. Well, he went into the building, construction. He was building new homes out in the Inland Empire. And now he's retired and lives in Memphis. And who am I going to forget? Girls, who am I forgetting? Oh, my old friend Ike is an old car club guy, and he lives in Hesperia. I'm sorry, he lives in Wrightwood, and he's been having a little problems with his balance, and so Ike wasn't able to come tonight.
You're good.
I'm good, she says. Well, there's so many other people. I've got my personal trainer back there, Kim and Michael. A lot of other great people. All the employees. I can't name all the employees. That would be tough. But I think I've covered family. Dina says we covered everybody, but I thank you all for coming. I got Tracy back there, who's the keystone and cornerstone of our accounting department. Great job, Tracy. I could pick out employees constantly. I mean, all you employees do a great job. What was that? So thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Brandon out in the shop, I could just go on forever. And Laurel, the whole bunch of you just do a fantastic job. And I really thank you all. And let's have another 5 years of a 75th party. Yeah. Thank you.